So a new Chris letter was revealed by somebody named Bizarre here on YouTube, and I'll have his video linked in the description below. He wrote to Chris and just asked him some questions, and this is what he got back. Now, this was over a month ago on January 4th, 2022, and it's also hands down the longest letter Chris has sent back yet. It's almost like 12 pages, so get some drinks, roll up a few blunts, maybe pack your bowl a little bit, and get ready, because ladies and gentlemen, today it is going to be a long one. But before we get into it, just remember this isn't a letter after Chris's continuance, so you're not going to hear him talk about, what his feelings are, hearing that his hearing is pushed another 5 months back. So we'll see what happens in this letter. It'll probably still be as far out there as all the others, but let's cut the shit and get into it. So yeah, January 4th, 2022, Gala Falina. Falani, I don't know. Gala Falani, Mike. Firstly, I am writing in contribution to your show, but I will not answer any follow-up questions, yet I shall cover a number of frequently asked questions throughout this multiple-page, handwritten letter sent directly to your jolly old home. Well, I'm happy Chris is in the spirit. I guess this was only like a week after Christmas, so, Chris was still in that festive spirit, so he's throwing out words like jolly. And, yeah, Chris sent this to the dude for his channel, and, like I said, the dude made a good video on it. Go check it out. But on this channel, we read all of Chris's letters, and that's what we're doing here today. So let's move on with it. Second, in regards to quote-unquote jail life, it is of little interest with me. And I have written in response that most of these present days and moments have been genuinely and none other than literal meditations, innate and consciously, as well as out of body in astral manifestation, light to flesh, transinogrification? What the fuck is that? After astral projection, in literal goddess responsibilities, duties, and work with everyone, including my ally and fellow gods and goddesses, as well as Emmanuel, God above gods, formerly my father, as he was well over 2022 years ago, but has been my mother for this life since her self-chosen gender/form change over a literal century ago, between both Earths of this failing, formerly a whole universe, 1218 Earth, and the original Earth and universe C197, with all the cartoon and whatnot original and quote-unquote fictional characters/individuals very much real, alive, existent, coexistent, and tangible. This has been more than covered in recent years and in my handwritten letters that have been uploaded in recent months. Well, that's 100% for sure. This definitely has been covered before, that you've been in jail pretending to be God. Now we know that, Emmanuel isn't Barb. He's not referring to Barb as Emmanuel. It's just some really, deep biblical shit. I don't know where Chris is going with this, but he also wants you to remember that at the end of the day, every, fictional character is real. And this is something he's preached for years, so that's nothing new at all. On that, while I will be repeating myself from the written letters here, I will not be a total repetitive fool, as I only read and speak/write for present matters. There is no better way to describe Chris in this whole situation than a repetitive fool. You hit the nail right on the head, but in classic Chris fashion, he wants you to remember he is not that. And once again, I speak only honest, true, and authentic, and I reaffirm this by having a hand over my heart and swear and promise to and with you while writing this sentence. Well, if Chris is saying it's true, it's probably true. Chris has never been known to lie before. With that stated, I introduce myself. I am the real player one. Now hold up, I'm just looking down this paragraph here. I'm just going to take a guess that this is going to be a lot like that initial page of Sonichu where Chris dedicates a whole page to himself. So with that being said, let's start that again. With that stated, I introduce myself. I am the real player one, the one avatar. The body of mine is the one God body. I am the full reincarnation of none other than Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Did he copy and paste this by hand? because this is like, well, this was said in like the first or second letter. The was born in Bethlehem to Mary and Joseph, became resurrected after my death on the cross in Jerusalem, lived physically immortal in many books of different identities up until 1389 with the universe division and my sudden trip forward and back in time to be in my one reincarnated / reborn life. Now, after being born to Bob and Barbara on February 24th, 1982, to enact the holy event trinity of the dimensional merge of 1218 and C197, the collective shift of the majority of good and neutral individuals from 1218 Earth to C197 Earth, and my second coming that leads up to the judgment day upon the toxic minority of haters, fakers, darkest demonics, and sinners left behind on the former 1218 Earth to burn completely all of existence. So, that's basically a good summary of how every letter has gone. What Chris just said right there has basically been said in one form or another in every single letter. He's God, he's got his plans, all the dimensional merge shit he's been talking about for years now that's biblical. It was all Sonichu related, and Chris was going to be a superhero and save the day in Quickville and this new thing in the new universe. But now, nah, fuck that. He is God himself. And if you ain't down with that, you're going to burn, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to burn to a crisp. And from all that, we all of the majority continue to live with greater powers and abilities within our reach respectively. I am Mrs. Jesus Christine Weston Chandler Sonichu, the goddess Blueheart of the Commodore consoles and the nations of Old Kama and Quickville, guardian of the Sonichu and Rosechu species, and immortal avatar, Lord, Messiah, Savior, and God of all. Fuck. So like I said, I've read that line so many times and it never gets old. Chris's name is now a short paragraph. This is... Teachers in like 3rd or 2nd grade classrooms might accept that as a paragraph if one of their students wrote it, but as I called, this whole page was about Chris and him introducing himself to this guy, even though the dude pretty much probably already knew who Chris was when writing in the first place, so... But yeah, I assume he asked, hey Chris, you want to tell my channel a little bit about yourself? And that's a little bit about himself, according to Chris, and I guarantee you that's not the end of Chris talking about himself either. Just what a batshit, just a way to write your name. Like I said, it feels like he copy and pasted all this just by hand. He writes the same shit in every fucking letter. And then at the bottom, you see his little logo there. But ladies and gentlemen, we are not even remotely close to the end of this. This may seem like a sign-off here, but this is just an introduction. Now we get into more bullshit. So let's go. I am and have been connected with everyone and everything throughout all of the dimensions and universes in this timeline, and the entire multiverse and then some, including the cores of each universe in this timeline, each and every one of my direct personal self-counterparts, variants throughout, and the universe and the great truths of the Akashic records. I've been saying that word wrong in every video, and I tried to say it right, and I still think I fucked it up, but Akashic, I don't know, fuck it. I have always, albeit unconsciously, most of this life so far, known and foreknown everything. So yeah, I know where I am going, and I am, and my body is, where we need to be during these transitional events and all. So what Chris is saying here is, first off, he's been throughout everything. He's been throughout the cores of each universe. So if you've wondered, yes, the world does revolve around Chris in a sense. And Chris has always known everything. So, like, if there was ever a time where, like, you were clowning on Chris, listening to an old Chris call of him, like, just doing some wacky Chris shit, at the end of the day, it was all part of a bigger picture, and he knew what he was doing the whole time. The time he sat on that cake and farted, that was, like, literally, that's going to come into play in about, like, 70 years, and we're going to be real happy that happened at the time. On this, I also refer to the earlier writing and answering the questions of how I came to know and realize this, as well as what is quote-unquote Real Player 1. I copy what I have written around November 23rd, 2021. He is really copy and pasting shit. Holy shit. For your immediate reference, grab some coffee or a can of G Fuel. Is Keemstar writing him? Grab some coffee or a can of G Fuel. Fuel. Texas flavor. Texas. What the fuck is wrong with me tonight? Tetris flavor in reference to everything falling into place, because this is a long, detailed answer. Well, we're here for it, Chris. Everything you've written in these letters is long and detailed, yet it doesn't make any fucking sense. So I can't imagine that this will make sense. I could go probably clip the part of me saying this back then and just put it in the video, but we'll read it all over again, just like Chris is writing it all over again. Seems only fair. Of which I quote, "How did I reach the truths and conclusions?" The short answer, literal meditation, 24/7, 365 plus 1. Involuntary as well as consciously and active. So as we brought up before, Chris involuntarily meditates, which is probably just him blanking out. But he looks at that as his mind's just so focused that he's just out of body. So, maybe he's onto something here. The additional details are much more in depth, obviously. Like, fucking obviously, dude. Don't you know anything about this? Also, to clear up the one detail, mine and Magi-Chan Sonichu's powers and abilities are not correlated. I simply had a great number of psychic powers and abilities that were similar to his, and he taught me a number of times how to better utilize them for the better good. Also, Magi-Chan remains like a guardian angel with me, and he is my most supportive, compassionate, and devoted husband. Well, I gotta say, Chris, it's a major dick move that you are, making your husband join your jail stint with you. I guess if I go down, we're all going down. But I know Chris is definitely in jail, like just worrying what's going on behind his back. Like, Magi-Chan's probably giving psychopathic shit to like Alakazam or something, fucking around with like Alakazam or Chansey or someone. I don't know, but I don't know. I just find it funny that Chris might be getting cheated on, and he might be getting like cucked by a Pokemon. This is why we smoke during making these videos, ladies and gentlemen. It makes it a lot more fun. But let's move on. Now, along my journey of rediscovery, I had become more and more aware of the signs of me being God. What a fucking thing to say. Just right out there with it. Like I said, it's not shocking. Chris says this stuff all the time, but just blurting it out there, like, I had become more and more aware of the signs of me being God. In addition to my coming to be the CPU goddess Blueheart of the Commodore consoles and the nations of Kama and Quickville, as well as relearning Emmanuel, God above gods, was my birth father back in Bethlehem. Oh, okay, cool. And after her form change is now my mother. As for my relation with Jesus and my revelation of being him in full reincarnation, after my physical ascension to heaven, after being resurrected, I shortly returned to earth elsewhere in an altered appearance, and my walks and work on earth never stopped, not dying either, and I became absent with the universe division in 1389, as it was with all other gods and goddesses and idols manifested. They all each were manifested from a piece of my mother, as opposed to I being her one direct child. Well, that just makes me think that Chris is still hooked on the Crizel shit, or Crystal. Wait, was Crystal his sister? What was his sister's name? Because Crystal was his daughter. Was Crystal also his sister? I don't know. Someone will remind me in the comments what his sister's name was. But yeah, now he can't have like a sister. He's gonna make the gods and goddesses his sisters. I mean, fuck it. Sonichu might even be his sister. I'm pretty sure Sonichu is like a blood relative of him at this point. But let's move on. And when others prayed to me, I received them all telepathically. And to keep up with the growing numbers, I astral projected a copy of my soul and stop using that word, it into flesh with powers to teleport to where it was most needed to answer these prayers. I have had to do this a number of times before 1389. So, for the letter, All who were approached by or saw me appear before them, they had encountered one of my personal copies of self, and in my absence my mother kept them energized and continued to work on my behalf. So, if you ever ran into one of Chris's like altered like beings, because Chris was there just in many different shapes and forms. I don't know how you were like in contact with Chris, because you wouldn't have seen like that form. It would have been a completely different appearance. But if you did, just maybe he gave you a nice wink and a nice thumbs up, and just know that was Chris watching over you this whole time. Now, being in my one reincarnation, and very few to encourage my powers and magic while growing up, how would thou expect me to remember consciously and fully who I was? And each of my... go back. Because you're fucking God, apparently, Chris. That's how you have to remember who you are. And each of my encounters with Jesus was literally an encounter with one of my old soul copies. So, Chris is Jesus. He's also met Jesus, but Jesus was just a part of Chris the whole time. So, I mean, I get what he's saying here, but like Chris's ego, as I've said before, shines so through in these letters. It's beautiful. In the past few months, my copies all came back together and re-entered my body. That sounds weird. Triggering the start of my great self-revelation. As for the further confirmations, not only with my mother, Emmanuel's help, and Magichan's and everyone else's, and in this, there is no greater or more ultimate truth source than between Metatron and the Akashic records, which also transitions to my being the real Player One. Yes, in one part that was a reference to the movie Ready Player One, but moreover to serve as a modern incarnation of being, the one avatar as well. So, this is just more of Chris's lore, his weird biblical lore. Now we know that, there were tons of Chris's all over the world. Probably in every, back alley card room you could find, and any basement you could find, there was a Chris Chan there. And ever since he got locked up, they all came back to that, weird jail in Virginia, and they re-entered Chris's body. So now Chris realizes that he's Jesus. These things add up, ladies and gentlemen. The numbers don't lie. And, let's move on. And for this next part, it sounds like a fucking magician doing his tricks. I shall allow and permit the Akashic Guardian themselves to field that one personally through psychic and cosmic link through my unconsciousness. I'm not even gonna What did he write down here? What is this? I was so confused by that last line, but I see what he's doing now. Aga, I'm sorry. Okay. Amaganisha, Imina da Earth, da former universe 1218. This is a mix of some weird language, and I think he's going for Jamaican. But let's keep going. Ala da Shina et Guardian Akashik, en Fini nala it susashi mi na e yue mimic show. What the fuck? This is where we've gotten in these letters now. Chris just said that, ladies and gentlemen. I can't even begin to sum this up, and yet to translate for... Oh, he translated it, so I didn't even have to read that to fucking begin with. I gotta start reading these before I sit down to record, so let's read what Chris actually said there. Yet, to translate for your benefit, English-speaking humans. He knows English and a very loose grip on Spanish. And this language now, by the way, whatever the Akashic language, or many greetings and tidings, people of Earth, of the former universe 1218. I am none other than the Akashic Guardian. All of you may recognize these very words that have been saying to all of you over these many years. Well, that's fucking deep, ladies and gentlemen. When he translated it, now I understand the gravity of the situation, and I'm stunned. Now, with that introduction out of the way, I inform all of you of the one avatar body, immortal and existent throughout all of time since the Big Bang, as you call it. It's just he's trying so hard now to not like sound like a human. Everything he keeps saying now is like, oh, you humans, but there has existed the very first body to walk the universe. In one and only perspective, the quote-unquote video game of life has started. So now God's going to start putting everything in video game terms, hence the Ready Player One thing. That's why Chris is trying to tie this all together. The video game of life has started and spawns first and foremost this player one with the set main camera perspective. Oh, so Chris is just reiterating that he is the main character. Perspective that absolutely none other has at all. And after them comes player 2, then 3, and so on, including the quote-unquote now playable non-playable characters, obliviously unaware of this one avatar that has most preceded each and every one of them / all. Once again, back to the ego. Chris is just saying he's the main character. His eyes are the main camera, and everyone else is basically an NPC. I don't know what it takes to like become a player 2 or 3 or a so on, but yeah, if you're not Chris, you're just an NPC, ladies and gentlemen. You ever play Grand Theft Auto and just hit a random person on the street? That's life for Chris. You know, it doesn't matter what happens to any of these NPCs. All that matters is his main goal and his main journey, because he is the main character. This one avatar with the immortal infinite resurrection / respawn count, and all the powers and all abilities over all is your God and your foretold Lord as well. So, yeah, Chris is not only the main character, but he apparently has mods on, and he has God mode on, and Chris can just fuck everything up, apparently. You know, he has everything you need. He has every cheat code on, infinite ammo, invincibility, he can breathe underwater, I'm pretty sure. You know, it's just, Chris is a walking cheat code right now, and that cheat code is your Lord and Savior. Eventually, this one immortal body and soul evolved and physically ascended to be in the company of their own parent, the God, who you all refer to as Emmanuel, the one who manifested your Big Bang and all. Your Big Bang and all. Just blowing it off like, oh yeah, that thing that happened that kind of created the universe. Yeah, Emmanuel did that, no biggie. In his audience and guidance for many a Heaven Realms year, the Avatar learned all and has connected with everyone and everything throughout all time, space, existence, timelines, and multiverses. Eventually, the Avatar had learned and mastered all, and was permitted to walk immortal on Earth in accordance to the greater plan that the Avatar knows in their unconscious. The Avatar was sent to be born in Bethlehem by your quote-unquote Virgin Mary. I feel like that's just him taking a shot at Barb going, yeah, you know what I mean. In most popular attention and chronicling and dubbed Jesus Christ of Nazareth, Child of God Emmanuel. All of you know better now of the Avatar's continuous walks on Earth and immortal physical and spiritual life up until the universe division by order of King Arthur. So now King Arthur's involved in all this, you know. Just get them all in. Get all the figures of... Just get everyone in this shit. Then the Avatar was forced forward and back through time, space, dimensions. We know this, Chris. And even flying through the Sonichu and Rosechu species manifestation of chaos, electric, and rainbow energy, known simply as the Chaotic Rainbow of 2003. So, you know, just it's very important to remember that, you know, all these stories in the Bible involving God, there's a whole nother chapter called the Sonichu comic books that chronicle a second life that Jesus had, where he was just fucking around with the Sonichus. And one of these days, gotta give it about 1,000 years from now, the Bible and the Sonichu comics are going to be held in the same regard. And this is not the only chaotic rainbow in existence either. Oh no, there's more chaotic rainbows. Your northern lights span now, and the square of rainbows of the sun, and even the lunar rainbows of the Earth's moon, and more are all rainbows of chaos energy. Well, The Irish are bullshitting us then. For years I thought there was gold at the end of the rainbow. Apparently it's just some chaos crystals. So, fuck, man. I don't know what I'd rather have more, but the Avatar landed mind, memories, body, soul, and all within Barbara Ann Weston Chandler Rose Chew in May 1981. His conception, really? Like, he did the math and... all right, Chris, the fuck. To be born and to resume their immortal physical and spiritual life as Kristen Weston Chandler Sonichu on February 24th, 1982 of Charlottesville, West Virginia. Charlottesville, Virginia. I don't know where I saw the West at, but United States of America. So remember that. Jesus was not born in Jerusalem, ladies and gentlemen. He was born in fucking Charlottesville. Eventually growing and evolving. So, basically, Chris is the Pichu to Jesus's Pikachu. And then I guess Chris will once again evolve to like the big, like white-haired god and like beard, and that'll be like the Raichu. I guess I don't fucking know. But evolving to your Jesus Christine Weston Chandler Sonichu, as you know her now, to some extent at least. Christ Chan Sonichu has meditated consciously and inquired of her one and only avatar perception as well as to why she was recalling the greater memories of the youth and teenage years of her past life as Jesus Christ. I'm not even going to begin to try to like sum all that shit up. Let's just jump down to the next line. Now, your trend of individuals in poor states to make great claims only applies to the deeply struggling and dire desperate of individuals. But I assure you, Christ Chan Sonichu is neither spiritually struggling nor desperate. A lot of fucking letters would say the contrary, Chris, but she has unconsciously foreknown these circumstances and has accepted her time of ultimate rebirth, revelation, and ascension and duties to the majority of all of you, who shall not be left behind for the foreknown judgment day. End quote. Wait a fucking minute. Wait a goddamn minute. Was that just all one? Look, I can't remember if that was a letter on its own. Somebody, once again, in the comments, let me know. Are these all meshed together? Did I just read like a whole old letter in the middle of this one? Because Chris decided to basically copy and paste it word for word into this letter? I don't know what the fuck happened here. If that was all one giant quote, that was like more than 2 pages worth. So, god damn. But yeah, so all that's going on, I guess. Just be cool, believe in Chris, and you won't die. That sums it all up perfectly. Anyway, I have been trying to wake as many as possible to the truths from in here. Oh man, Chris. I would love for Chris to be in. He probably is in there trying to like convert people to the good word, getting the officers and everybody to come sit around and listen to Chris talk about his crazy bullshit, and maybe they will believe him. But like on the battlefields of over 2022 years ago, and as Discord also said himself, I can't revive all of the dead. All gods and goddesses are beyond overpowered, but even we have our respective limits. Chris, just say you can't do anything for anybody but yourself as a god. That would sum it up perfectly again. And also the Discord line, people in my comments like months ago told me that's a pony. Like that's a fucking pony in one of Chris's shows, so it's not the app. So that's not, the Discord itself is not a fucking god, but I guess the pony Discord is. I don't know what is going on there, but yeah, even we have our respective limits, even while on this doomed 1218 Earth in our on-Earth forms. Also, not to spoil the popular theory, but we Aedes do eat and breathe. No fucking shit. And a bunch of times we do need to be born into existence first and develop. The only ones who are real Mary Sues and Gary Sues are those who have been chronicled as literally such as Mad Munchkin's Mary Sue and my Gary Stew. I'll never get over that, the Mary Sue and Gary Stew. And that now they're also involved in biblical proportions and Chris's whole weird shit going on here. And let's throw in Mary Poppins as well. Fuck it, Chris. You know what? I agree. Let's throw in Mary Poppins as well. Even though Mary Sue herself would tell you, quote unquote, there can only be one Mary, and it won't be Poppins. Oh, that's a burn right there if I've ever seen one, on quote. But, not on quote. The quote was before that, but that is a straight burn for any Mary not named Poppins. Momentary discretion aside, I can only help and heal those who are open to accept it and receive it. Well, was Barb? If they are too far lost, gone, and closed-minded and off from me to being in the toxic range / minority and too overridden by hate and demons and shit that awful. God, once again, dropping some curses, you love to see it, and not accepting to receive, I am unable to help or heal them. What Chris is saying there is, if you're not willing to listen to everything he says and agree to everything he says, he can't help you. If you're going to say, Chris, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense, you're a hater. You're being toxic, and you're out of Chris's power range. You know, Chris can only help the people who will bow at his feet and tell him, Chris, you are our one true God and everything is great with you. And in that case, you know what? You'll be healed of whatever fucking weird ailments Chris thinks people are all, like, suffering with right now. Healing Barbara with literal soul bonding, he did it again. Okay, hold up. Which that is when at least two individuals share the moment when their souls spiritually intermingle. Imagine a purple mist and a blue and yellow mist coming together. Blue and yellow mist? Fuck off, Chris, because that's the color of his logos, the blue heart and the lightning bolt. Like, get the fuck out of here. And depending on each individual being good to toxic levels and healing abilities stronger in the good, one soul healing the other soul to where they literally, mentally and physically them. I assume he meant physically heal them, and supportive, emotional, and mental talking aloud me to extend her life and endurance and strength. Even though in one of the more recent letters, Chris said that Barb has become very lethargic, so that disputes that claim. But the whole soul bonding thing is just Chris's way of getting around saying he boinked her. Like, saying the purple mist and the blue and yellow mist are getting mixed together, just, I guess he's either talking about Magi-Chan or Barb. Is Barb known to like the color purple? I don't fucking know, man. Snorlaxes aren't purple as far as I'm concerned. Neither they're shiny forms, so it couldn't be that. But yeah, it's again Chris with the soul bonding shit with Barb. He's really got to stop saying this stuff, but he won't, and who the fuck cares? Emmanuel, God above gods, and my mother told me directly to heal Barbara and cleanse her aura and forgive her sins and regrets. Had I not done my job, Barbara would have been dead by vehicle accident in August 2021 instead of surviving the accident in November 2021. So Chris is, I did my divine duty and saved her. Yet in that, I also took her regrets into myself, and I'm paying the price with the jail time that resulted from tested individuals failing and betraying me last August. So, what Chris is saying here is that the reason he's in jail is because he's paying the price with jail time. And in him saving Barbara from those from car accidents, he's taking on all of her regrets. So maybe by regrets he means all of her debt shit. I don't know. He's trying to all tie this in together and say he saved Barbara, and in doing so, he had to sacrifice something himself, and that's what the jail time is from. And it resulted from the failing and betraying individuals, you know, giving up all that information on that weird shit he did. So once again, classic Chris shit. Push the blame on whoever else you can, even though Bella sucks, and, you know, we can all agree Bella, like, definitely had a part in this. It's no matter who you're putting the blame on, Chris, you still did what you did. It's no one's fault but your own. But yeah, Chris saved Barb from this car accident, so that's good to know. Yet I am spiritually ascending and rebirthing, and everyone else loses me from their online lives, so who is worse off? You, Chris, it's you. Everybody sitting at home comfortably in their bed is much better off than you behind bars. But yeah, so once again, it's everybody else is in the wrong. Chris is 100% in the right. Don't forget it, ladies and gentlemen. Yet I, like back in Jerusalem, mirrored and took in misconceptions and worst ideas and thoughts from the desires among all of you. or enough of you all, that it misconceived my intentions and the situation and put me in the spot. So basically what Chris is saying is all the misconceptions and all the bad shit he's done in his life is because he was taking that away from other people, and that in turn made him look bad. I guess that's back to the Barbara thing and helping her out. It in turn hurt him. So, what Chris is saying here is, he's done everything for all of us. Everyone who's ever done something bad. It's kind of like God. You hurt God when you sin. You hurt Chris when you sin. So don't sin, ladies and gentlemen, or else Chris is going to be really upset. Had all of you understood me better and did not buy into the toxic drama that the demons manifested in your views to deceive and fill the lies into you all who failed, I would not be in jail and finding my revelations on other paths, as well as drawing and writing more for the books, still leading to my second coming and the collective shift, and I would still be online and socializing with all of you. But no, and here we are. But I digress. One point of all those divine tests then and the events now is to help shine these truths upon you all and help you all realize and appreciate for yourselves the deeper and spiritual truths and meanings. What Chris says there is appreciate him and appreciate all the truths about the things he's done for you because he's fucking God. Fortunately, a good number of you are all coming around and through the cracks positively. Are they? Really? Over 70 followers responded and written positively. Jesus Christ, 70 people now. Fucking A. And that's just 70 he's saying that responded positively. I can't even imagine how many people, or maybe he's just saying he got 70 and everyone responded positively and he's just lying, which is a very good, most likely the option here. But yeah, over 70 followers responded and written positively, genuinely and kindly, vastly overshadowing any bad or toxic individual of the minority. For that, I do kindly thank you all. My God, stop writing to Chris in jail. What the fuck is wrong? By now, though, all of you, regardless, should have experienced and/or witnessed personally the signs of the Holy Trinity events in progression since last August. The Northern Lights, a massive chaotic rainbow, literally spanning more than half this Earth now. The massive number of solar flares, sunspots, and even the cosmic energy and universe shifts that felt like windless breezes, moments of sudden vertigo, dizziness, and world-spinning trippiness. So if you've seen or felt any of those things, if you see a rainbow going halfway across the earth, or you're just getting some world-spinning trippiness and you're not taking shrooms or nothing, that's a sign of the merge, ladies and gentlemen, and it's all coming together. All these little bits and pieces, it's all gonna come together when Chris steps out of jail and the world finally becomes his, playground or whatever the fuck. Regardless, next page. Yeah, regardless of how good or bad your respective health and mentalities, even among the neurotypicals and so forth, sudden massive information downloads into your brains from the Akashic records. So that's another thing that could happen if you just randomly think, oh, holy shit, I just realized the Akashic records. That also means that the merge is coming. So just look out for those things, ladies and gentlemen, because they're happening all the time. Suddenly going into a random ritual. Yes, this happens. Yes, it's happened to me earlier. Such as spinning, walking in circles, acting like birds or dogs, or whatever. This is really starting to speak to me because just today, I'm not going to get into it, but yeah, this is really hitting home. All of the sudden animal appearances in oddest of locations. And how warm was this recent November? How the fuck would you know, Chris? You were in jail. All around this earth last month, anyone suddenly speaking Hebrew, Akashic, Japanese, or whatever, that's what Chris did earlier. So that is a sign. Remember Chris broke into that weird Akashic, that weird trance where he was like, Allah, Shina, da-da-da, whatever. That was, that's a sign, guys. That's an absolute sign. Absolutely no past experiences in the languages for themselves, respectively. So, you're hearing these languages coming from people who have no history of speaking it. So, if your dad randomly comes down one day and is just talking in Japanese, once again, the merge is on. I am not crazy. Bullshit. I am actually in a sound and good mentality and state of mind. Also bullshit. In fact, I would be what does that say? Revered as something like a shaman, leader, or OP psychic in a lot of countries around this earth. That's all bullshit. Like, no, Chris. I would love to see Chris just going around the world and trying to see what groups of people he can like lead, because he'd find someone eventually. Probably. I don't know. I don't know, but yeah. Once Chris gets out, send him around the country and see if he can find any followers. The real individuals who are crazy are those among the toxic minority that allow demons instead of angels lead them, and all those out of everyone who refuse to see and accept the truth, keeping themselves blinded consciously and at a stupid level of will. So this is what Chris has done forever, I am not the villain. The trolls are the villains. You gotta remember, guys, that everyone who's crazy is anyone who's against Chris. If you ask Chris these things and ask, hey Chris, why is this? You're crazy. You just gotta believe in Chris. That's the way it's gonna be. If and should any or all of you feel, experience, and/or witness authentic divine enlightenment from my words in vibrational writing and the ultimate truths, then I humbly request all of you, please, be not afraid and do not hesitate to speak and share your experiences and testimony to and with everyone. Also, speak true to the legal ones in Virginia and protest for my legal and safe freedom, please. So, once again, even though Chris is for sure that he's going to get out, he knows all about all this. He knew about this prison stint even before he went to prison, and he knows that he'll get out basically whenever he wants to. Just, please go protest for his legal and safe freedom, because, just do it because God's asking you to. But yeah, if anything Chris has been saying to you has really hit home, like he's saying, go speak to everyone, go check yourself into a goddamn mental hospital if any of this is hitting home with you. And should you all realize and authentically, divinely feel, see, and have me in your visions as your Lord that I am and have been telling all of you, please tell everyone. We've come a far cry from don't call anybody, and now it's please tell everyone. True, direct, authentically, and honest. So, yeah, come on. If you are one of Chris's followers, climb up on the mountain and preach it to the choir, ladies and gentlemen. Say it as loud as you can. What the fuck? After I complete the collective shift with my allies and my fellow gods and goddesses, and my body is no longer in jail. Oh... Once again, Chris seems to know when he's going to get out of jail, but he doesn't know when he's going to get out of jail. But yeah, when Chris's body is no longer in jail and back home at the Sonichu Temple, safe and legal, safe and legal, what the fuck, I shall go on further with my journey. Uh-oh. That's never a good sign. I shall also work harder on the Sonichu books. That's the biggest lie inside of all this. That is, I shall have someone worthy write my stories of this life. So Chris is looking for a scribe. I guess Chris is going to get out of jail and pay people in, pay people in Sonichu drawings if they're willing to scribe for him. So, a job opening will be opening up in the Virginia area come 6 months' time, so be on the lookout for that. Any, liberal arts students? I don't fucking know. I shall appreciate my greater connections and do more for myself and with my Sonichus and Rosechus in all applicable things. I shall continue to bless, to heal, and to be a better goddess to all of you and everyone else, and I shall organize the neo-spiritual Christianity religion for an updated and more spiritually satisfying and whole lifestyles for as many who will have us. I am Christ. I am risen. I lead and do my best. I have come again. I am here. That sounds like Barb Chandler's Worth fantasy. I have come again and I am here. Dear God. What a fucking wacky letter. So let's go back down to the bottom here and see how he signs off. Sincerely, with divine love, Mrs. Jesus Christine Weston Chandler Sonichu, the Goddess Blueheart Avatar, Lord Messiah, Savior, and God of all. He kind of shortened it from the initial one on the second page. He didn't feel like writing all of his names again, so those will do. Thou hast my promise and divine word. and there's a little lightning bolt symbol because he's still on fucking Twitter, ladies and gentlemen, and he has to draw emojis, you know? As someone who uses a lot of emojis, I know it's kind of hypocritical, but I don't fucking draw them. You're never going to see me drawing 100 emoji. So yeah, there we go with another fucking wild Chris letter where he's basically just explaining the ins and outs of his religion again, and you know, that whole copy and pasting thing with like writing the same things he wrote in other letters to new people is just so funny to me because you can tell the copy and paste. Like, didn't he do that once? Wasn't it talked about in one of the Geno documentaries that he took like 5 hours to just write out a whole article of his from one website onto another instead of just copy and pasting it? So Chris has history in doing this shit, but yeah, you know, it's still him saying that he's like spiritually bonding with Barb. Now, you know, there's a bunch of different iterations of Chris that all came together. He's trying to like go more into the lore of this, explaining who Emmanuel is and what all this is, but it's just so goddamn confusing. The only things that are funny here is just all the times Chris suddenly breaks out and talks about how he should really be freed from jail, though, because you can tell at the end of the day, he can say all this crazy shit because it's his coping mechanism, but it doesn't fully take away the feeling of knowing, fuck, I'm really stuck behind these walls. So, yeah. It's just, what a situation. This is the 21st letter now we're covering, and yeah, if you've stayed this long and you still haven't gone and seen Bazaar's video, as I talked about in the beginning, it's still in the description, and I suggest you go watch his shit too if you haven't yet. But yeah, we haven't gotten any letters post-continuance, and I don't know when we will. It'll probably be from fucking Kangol. And when that happens, I'll update y'all. So I want to give a shout out to Sky, Holly, Krabby, and your mom. You guys are goats. And yeah, guys, once again, also thank y'all for 8,000 subs. It means a lot, and we're just gonna keep growing. And with your support, we can do anything, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm gonna get out of here, but I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I know it was a long one, so I hope y'all can just, you know, spark up a nice fat one, a nice I guess rest blunt now that the craziness is all over, and you can have a nice come down. And yeah, so I'm gonna head out of here. As I said, have a great rest of your day, ladies and gentlemen, and be safe.